All right, it's a little later than usual, but I have to do my live for the day. And today we're going to talk about down payments and where they're coming from and how to accumulate enough down payment to go out there and purchase your first property. So, a couple different ways to do it. The first most obvious way is go out there and budget, right? And pay attention to where your money is going, right? Figure out if you're paying for Netflix, Hulu, YouTube TV, and Disney Plus while you're paying for cable at the same time. It might be overkill. Figure out how you could cut down a little bit so you could start saving. And over time, it accumulates, and that could be your down payment. Um, there's an app out there that I've been hearing about called Picket Fence app, and that app is supposed to help you budget specifically for a down payment for your property. Okay, so not only will it help you create a budget, but it'll give you a timeline, and it'll also pay attention to your credit score so that you can make sure you get the best rates. All right, so if you need a little bit of help, check out the Picket app, Picket Fence app, I think it's called. All right, and set it up so that you can figure out your budget and start saving towards your your down payment. Another way to do it is uh, save on those tax returns, right? I've got some people every single year, tax return time comes around and they're house hunting again. All right. I've got go out there, beg, borrow, and steal. No, don't steal. Beg and borrow. And I've had a lot of buyers borrow from their own 401k. Okay. And I think you could borrow up to 50,000 or half of what's in the account, um, whichever is less. Okay. Some pros and cons. What I would say a pro would be you're not borrowing from the bank, you're borrowing from yourself. So the interest you're paying back, you're actually paying it to yourself. But there's a couple of cons, right? The number one, if you leave the job, you've got to repay that money before the next your next tax return is due, or it'll be considered a withdrawal. Okay, and some people have decided to withdraw from their 401k, but what happens is they have to pay taxes on that withdrawal, and sometimes that actually bumps them up to the next uh, income tax bracket, right? And then there's grants that are out there. So I actually was talking to one of my mortgage broker friends, and uh, she told me about a program that was offered to properties that are in low income tracts or medium income tracts. Okay, so I gave her my entire list of listings, and I said, go check. And she actually came back and she said a few of them fall within that track. So what happens is the buyers there can get a better rate, but not only that, they get a $10,000 grant that they don't have to pay back. So man, that's definitely added to part of the marketing for those properties, right? And then there's down payment assistance programs where you have to come up with a portion of it yourself. I think it's like 3% you have to come up with. 1% has to come from yourself. You have to take a couple of classes, but in New York, you could get up to $100,000 in down payment assistance, right? There's a couple of uh, bullet points and items that you need to kind of, there that you have to follow. You have to take classes. Okay, you have to fall within a certain level of income, but up to 100,000 for a 1 to 4 family home in New York City might be worth it. All right. And the last way I'm going to give you guys is receive a gift, right? I'm not going to lie. My first property that I bought, my mom gave me a little bit of a gift to help me with the down payment. And, you're able to give gifts up to 17,000 in 2023. You're able to give gifts up to 17,000 per person without having to pay gift tax. Okay. And I received a little gift that got me started, and that pushed me to the next property, to the next property, to the next property. And I paid it forward as well. When it was time for my sister to buy her first home, we gifted her some money to get her started as well. And when it's time for my kids to buy their first home, I'll be gifting them some monies as well to get them started. So don't be afraid to ask for gifts or offer gifts if you have the means to do so. Okay, so plenty different ways for you to go out there and accumulate some money to get into the market, right? I find like that is usually the missing piece, right? A lot of times you could say, okay, you could own this for less than you're paying for rent, but the missing piece is that down payment, right? So I gave you a couple of ways that you could accumulate that down payment. If you're watching this live, hashtag live. If you're watching it on replay, hashtag replay. Again, appreciate you for tuning in and checking this out. Have a great day.